Hello, everyone, and welcome back to North Avenue Nation's updates of the MLB offseason. Some news now breaking that the Washington Nationals are aggressively going after Yoenis Cespedes. We have been hearing rumblings of this as soon as the offseason broke. We know that the Nationals had huge expectations going into last season, and they could not meet them. They failed big time, didn't even get into the playoffs, and they saw the Mets take over and win the NL East. And it seems like the Nationals are taking this very personal. They've already gone out and signed Daniel Murphy, and they now are offering, potentially, or going to be willing to offer Yoenis Cespedes the contract that he has been looking for. Yoenis right now is not looking for money. It is not necessarily just about that. It is about the years. He wants to be having the protection to know that he is going to have a contract for much longer than 1 or 2 years that the Mets are really only offering. 5 years, $100 million is the potential offer from the Nationals. Now, this offer has not necessarily been given, and it's going to still be in talks, but the talks are very serious between the two sides. We know right now that Yoenis Cespedes wants the years, and I think he does feel a little disrespected by the Mets, not really being willing to give it to them. This team does not see playoffs without Yoenis Cespedes. Yes, his postseason was not what they hoped, but still, without Yoenis Cespedes, you don't see playoffs. And for you to only say, hey, listen, we'll give you a year contract and that's about it, well, that could cost the Mets now more than ever, because it's bad enough to lose Yoenis Cespedes, and it's even worse to not replace him. But you can't have a worst case scenario than him going to the Washington Nationals. And when you look at now that Washington Nationals team, when you plug Yoenis Cespedes in, they just signed Ben Revere. You have Bryce Harper coming off his best season of all time, and you then put Yoenis Cespedes in. He'll start over Jason Worth, and that makes Worth able to come in and now be a utility guy who's a starter on a lot of baseball teams. Maybe they could even see if he can play a little first base if Ryan Zimmerman gets hurt. I mean, that's all very questionable. Or if Ben Revere needs a day off, you put Cespedes in center and Worth goes back out there. So much flexibility now, and you think about the front of that lineup could very well be something like Ben Revere, Anthony Rendon, Bryce Harper, and then Yoenis Cespedes. I mean, as far as a front four, we were talking a lot about that Blue Jays top of the order when it was Tulo, Donaldson, Batista, and Carcione, which was deadly. I mean, that Nationals lineup is almost, or if not more, or just as deadly as the top of that Blue Jays lineup, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this team could respond, because last year the pressure that came from those lofty expectations, they didn't really respond well, and the expectations could be even greater if they get Cespedes. But obviously, step one is them signing Yoenis Cespedes, 5 years, $100 million. Would definitely expect Cespedes to take that. The real question is, does this bring the Mets up more? Do they now say, you know what, we'll go 3 years, maybe 4 years? Do they match it due to fear of him going to the Washington Nationals? We're going to be covering this all the way throughout right here on North Avenue Nation.